GoFundMe.com for more information about our show, pictures of us like you'd want them, and reviews.
That's some good learning.
Today on X-Play, our Spider-Man 2 review is finally here. Plus, get your war on with Blitzkrieg, Burning Horizon. And who the hell is Cameo? Join us for web-slinging, fighting, and unorthodox art appreciation. It's game time! Please welcome two people in desperate need of a helper monkey, Adam Sessler and Morgan Webb.
It's true. Monkeys are tiny, work for free, and dress me when I'm too lazy to do it myself.
By that logic, the interns are helper monkeys. Welcome to X-Play.
On today's show, we have a game that features a princess who can turn into monsters. I bet it'll make a great sitcom.
Plus, another damn World War II game.
A new hack and slash from Todd McFarlane.
More games for cheap bastards, and
Spider-Man 2!
Yes, a tiny man in a red and blue spandex suit swings from building to building.
Anywhere else, it would seem flamboyant.
But we kick things off with Cameo. Here's our preview. Cameo, Cameo, where art thou, Cameo? Gamecubers waited for years, only for their longings to turn to tears. Now that it's an Xbox game, fans of that console hope to avoid the same. But years in the cauldron have certainly paid off. Cameo is not the kind of game at which you scoff. An evil force has come to the land, and Cameo's sister is the leader of the band. This time, trolls are the enemy of choice. With their blood, you'll make the levels moist. Cameo is a fairy, see? But there's really no limit as to what she can be. She can change into a plant for a big uppercut. Or a big ice gorilla with a huge beer gut. They're not hard to play, with just a few attacks each. They'll help you reach places that are just out of reach. The armadillo is really quite handy, it's true. He rolls over enemies and flies madly through tubes. His spinning attack will make enemies flee. Though he seems kind of familiar. Oh, who could it be? The rest of the posse is adept to be sure. 10 monsters strong. It's the game's allure. Sometimes it's best to switch on the fly. Teaming up on enemies is the way to get by. Cameo isn't much of a brute, but her monster egos can give evil the boot. Pummelweed's dukes are a wicked force. When things slow down, pain takes its course. Melees are always par for the course. Kill all the creatures and it opens up doors. Enemies aren't as dumb as a lump on a log. They'll jump out of the way like an old porch dog. Bosses are plenty, but dear, don't you fret. With your gaggle of monsters, they'll all end up wet. Puzzles won't tax or wax your gray matter. But this ain't no kid's game. Just watch the goo splatter. The levels are huge, just what you'd expect from a developer like Rare that once commanded respect. Point A to point B is sometimes the call. Use your critters correctly or you're taking a fall. Almost finished after 4 years in the oven, Cameo Elements of Power is almost ready for lovin'. Knowing Rare there are secrets in store, but we'll wait till next year to know for sure.
Nice rhyming, Webb. You're like the next Dr. Seuss. Sad thing is, you're still a better poet than Jewel.
Thanks. Now, this game has changed even since we saw this preview build. Apparently, Cameo has become even more adult-oriented.
You can now impale animals on the wall and then rip them off and beat things with them. It's the Ted Nugent method.
Now, of course, not all games can be about fairies who turn into monsters, and that's why there are so many World War II games.
Like the real-time strategy game Blitzkrieg. It first came out last year, and now there's an expansion pack.
Ooh, expansive.
And it features new units like the Panzer IV.
Ooh, Panzer.
Here's a review of Blitzkrieg, Burning Horizon.
Ooh, burning.
Just stop.
Oh, stopping.
If there's one thing we can't get enough of, it's games based on World War II. You know the one, Germany versus everyone else. Actually, we can get enough of them. In fact, I think it's safe to say we've had our fill. But you know, what's one more? Besides, it might be interesting to know how things turn out. So, for yet another WW2 strategy game, we could do a lot worse than Blitzkrieg Burning Horizons. It's the official standalone expansion pack for Blitzkrieg. The game you didn't play when it was released last year? Right, that one. Well, here's the good news. Since this expansion pack does require the original game to function, you can experience the glory of Blitzkrieg with all the tweaks, fixes, and graphical updates a year's worth of development time will get you, without having to shell out cash for two separate games. Now, here's the bad news. Not much has changed from the original Blitzkrieg. You do get a brand new 18-mission campaign to play through, where you follow Rommel as he wanders the world trying to make friends with everyone he meets. Then there's also a bunch of single-player missions and about 50 new units to mess around with. So, how are the missions? They're a lot like the first game. In other words, they're good, but you gotta know what you're getting yourself into. While Burning Horizons is a real-time strategy game, it actually has a lot more in common with hardcore turn-based wargaming than, say, StarCraft. There are no resources to harvest, no buildings to build, no armies to raise. You go into a mission and you gotta work with what they give you. So yeah, Burning Horizons is pretty complex, but at least it's grounded in reality, which means that if you take the time to learn the ropes, you'll pick it up eventually. However, other parts of the game don't fare so well. The graphics are exactly the same as in the first game, which wouldn't be a huge problem if it weren't for the fact that it's really pretty hard to figure out just what kinds of units you have. Take these tanks, for instance. There are a bazillion different kinds of tanks in this game, and all I know about these ones here is that they're tanks. Oh sure, I bet some of you out there can tell me exactly what kind of tank this is, how powerful it is, its range, speed, blah, 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 but then you'd be a nerd. Unless you're buff, understanding the subtle tactile differences between the 300 or so different units in the game just ain't gonna happen. Burning Horizons is a good strategy game, especially if you go into it understanding just what it's trying to do. But it's still a suitably deep and engrossing experience, silly quirks and all. We're giving Blitzkrieg Burning Horizons a middle-of-the-road 3 out of 5.
Don't go away, because later we have our review of Spider-Man 2, one of the biggest games of the summer.
It makes my inner nerd squeal with joy.
I thought it was your outer nerd doing that.
Coming up, what is McFarlane's evil prophecy? And does anyone actually care?
I can't believe Carrie dumped me last night.
Really? You know, a good woman is like a McGriddles.
Okay.
She's sweet on the outside, and then once you get to know her, you find she's got everything you want. But just like that, she's gone. So what's your next move?
I go get myself another McGriddles?
Let's try this again. Women are like coffee.
I still don't get it. Let's say that your ham sandwich is a computer on a basic high-speed connection. And let's say that my tuna sandwich is a computer with the protection of AOL. Uh-oh. There's a whole bunch of spam. Some viruses. Now, which would you rather have? Basic high-speed connection or high-speed with AOL?
I'll have the tuna.
Actually, the tuna's mine.
Get AOL for greater peace of mind and much more. Want a better internet? You belong in America Online.
Get me 12 eggs, 2 6-pack soda, 7 grain bread, 5 lime.
12 eggs, 2 6-pack soda, 7 grain bread, 5 lime, powder butter, 6 I love you. Trying to cut down on phone time. Could you pick me up at 6, please? I want to go with the hot shot.
Canada, stay out till 12, please. At a police just this once.
Absolutely not. We read home by 10:10. It's going to be...
10:45?
Do I hear 10?
Give me 10:30?
I'll get it rounded.
Okay, fine. 10 it is.
Is your family wireless plan costing you a fortune? Come to T-Mobile, where families talk free.
Free?
Free.
And now get more whenever minutes than ever. 500, just $49.99.
T-Mobile, get more minutes.
Cobra 6, this is Spectre 6. Target acquired, over. Target identified.
Element search for Hotel Victor Tango, 2 and 8. Execute assault time now.
How dirty boys get clean. New Axe Shower Gel.
Frankly, you could have an answering machine do this intro crap. It's Adam Setzler and Morgan Webb.
Ooh, I like when a voice compromises his own job security.
Welcome back to X-Play. We have returned with another Todd McFarlane game.
Yes, McFarlane is the guy who created Spawn and who makes all those highly detailed action figures. Oh, and he drew Spider-Man in the 90s.
Spider-Man 2 review later in the show.
But now, Mr. McFarlane is more entrepreneur than artist. And that's why he keeps churning out some of the crappiest games we've ever seen.
Spawn Armageddon. Spawn the Eternal. Basically anything with the word Spawn in the title.
Well, now he has a new game based on what else? His line of action figures. Maybe you should lower your expectations a little further. Here's our review of McFarlane's Evil Prophecy. So here's one. What does Frankenstein's monster, Dracula, the Wolfman, assorted zombies, the Mummy, and toy maker Todd McFarlane have in common? Well, they've all turned up in Todd McFarlane's Evil Prophecy. And look, it's the dreaded Fishman, the worst part of men combined with the worst parts of fish. Scared yet? You should be. This game is spooky bad. There's no use in making you watch the entire review just to discover the obvious. McFarlane's Evil Prophecy is lame. But if you're interested in finding out just how lame, stick around. Evil Prophecy follows 4 monster hunters as they fight against iconic beasts like the Mummy, Dracula, Frankenstein, and the werewolf. Just like Van Helsing. And, yeah, and that's about it for the good parts. Oh, and there's a lot of reading to do. I'm sure your 7th grade English teacher would be proud. Rather than choose just one character to control, all 4 are along for the adventure. You can switch between them at any time with the directional pad. Yep, so Evil Prophecy is technically a so-called button masher, and it's monotonous to the extreme. The same creatures pop up out of the ground over and over again, and most of the levels are dark and foggy, so you often can't tell what's going on. But then again, you don't need to, since blindly hitting the various buttons works just fine. Eventually, the huge number of seemingly identical monsters the game throws at you becomes so annoying that you realize you can just run past them in order to get the next objective. Gee, you know what? How's that for solid game design? Seriously though, the pleasure of a good beat-em-up comes in the rhythm of the action, the diversity of the levels and enemies, and the feeling that you're actually accomplishing something. Needless to say, you shouldn't be able to run headlong into a pack of enemies without getting your ass handed to you. With or without fancy time-freezing special moves. So, rather than focus on improving the core gameplay, the designers of Evil Prophecy have thrown in a few half-hearted concepts that never gel. There's a useless character compatibility aspect for one, a random dungeon scenario, and a versus mode where there can be only one, and everyone else is just an ass. What more can be said? McFarlane's Evil Prophecy is easily one of the worst games to come along in a while. Steer clear, kiddos. We give it a you don't need it 1 out of 5.
My evil prophecy is that we go to break so we can forget all about that game.
Yes, go quickly.
Now!
Up next, what Redman does for fun.
And like a lightning bolt strike my hand and 100 women come out the audience and start kicking them in the nuts.
Need boredom insurance? That's the kind of thing you want from an insurance company. So is really simple car insurance. That's something Progressive can actually give us. For the other stuff, well, we're on our own. Progressive. Not what you'd expect from an insurance company.
Jim Clooney has a Snickers to keep the hunger at bay. Packed with peanuts, Snickers handles hunger, so Jim can stay on the go. Rejuvenated and up for anything, he decides to head out and go for a jog. Jim runs past a pet store where he buys a bird. Laying down newspaper, he spots a help-wanted ad to be a hairstylist. While working, Jim gets an idea for a clean air car that is powered by hair clippings. The car is embraced by an environmentally conscious nation, and Jim becomes a national hero, enabling him to date supermodels. Eat a Snickers and date supermodels. Make it happen with Snickers.
In the U.S. Navy, you'll get hands-on training with the most sophisticated equipment in the world. Because rocket science is more fun when you actually have rockets. Navy, accelerate your life.
Dragons, a fantasy made real. Tomorrow at 8. Only on Animal Planet. Go to dragonsarecoming.com.
Enjoy computer and video games? Train now for a career in this $7 billion industry. That's right, Brown College is now offering career training in game design and development. At Brown College, you can train to take your ideas from concept to completion and beyond. With over 230 million video games sold last year, game makers need talented, trained people to create the next generation of games. Turn your dreams into reality with career training in game design and development. Call Brown College now. Classes are starting soon. Call 800-766-2010. That's 800-766-2010.
Worms and germs can attack your computer.
Something's wrong with your computer, and you've tried everything.
Try this.
One quick click. Velos will keep your entire system virus-free, safe, and secure.
With Velos, to make it faster than the day you got it.
Visit velos.com.
And make it quick.
If you even think you're slowing down, get a free virus scan at velos.com and make it fast.
Spicy Saturday roll. Today, starting at the 5 Eastern, 2 Pacific.
I am so tired of introducing Adam Setzler and Morgan Webb.
I am so tired of reviewing games based on anime, but you don't hear me complaining.
You complain constantly.
Well, if you mute the TV, you can't hear me.
Okay, welcome back to Let's Play. Later in the show, we have our Spider-Man 2 review. But first, we have something for those who can't quite afford brand new games.
And there's zero shame in that. Nope. Games are expensive, and it's okay to be stingy. But with all the great games that have been discounted in the last few months.
So once again, we present a new installment of Games for Cheap Bastards.
Like me.
Hey, you! Did your goldfish die because you were too cheap to buy dried krill? Don't hide your wallet, you perniciously parsimonious enemy of generosity. X-Play hearts you. It's games for cheap bastards.
Hey, cheapskate, still remember the combination to your wallet? Here's some newly reduced games to get you living again. If you like rap but have only paid for it by occasionally clicking on Kazaa ads, your game is now within your reach. Def Jam Vendetta for the Gamecube, get your teeth on the ground by beating you down. As you enter ring after ring in search of that fleeting personal bling known as RESPECT. All your favorite booty hunters are at your disposal with an array of unique finishing moves designed to bring the pain. Don't believe us? Listen to Redman.
And like a lightning bolt strike my hand and 100 women come out the audience and start kicking them in the nuts.
All for the wallet rubbing price of $19.99. I remember it as if it was yesterday. Manberry, Bosco, and Duber. We were friends. And Fritz, he was our enemy. Medal of Honor Allied Assault for the PC offers a $19.99 admission through a gateway to a World War II gaming infatuation. Are you cheap and chicken? That's okay. Duber will eat the lead for you.
Valor, duty.
Cheap bastard. As admission to the world's great ski areas gets higher, does your interest in snowboarding plummet? SSX3 for the Xbox brings all the dudes, dames, and stunts right to your converted motel doorstep. All for $19.99. Spectacular skyward stunting, beautiful environments, and snow that looks good enough to eat follow you on your soaring quest to beat the clock and some nagging snow skater that's got it in for you.
Good nature will only take you so far.
They say the Lord moves in mysterious ways. Well, tonight, he's gonna steal your car. Grand Theft Auto 3 for the PS2 moves, booms, and bangs. For $19.99, you can flip the bacon in a frying pan thick with Vice. Say hello to your neighbors from the comfort of your car. Buy the cops a drink. Exercise with friends. Get it off your chest with an excess that makes road rage look like a minor allergy. A magic crow leaves a little guano on this girl's hand, and a whole rodeo of ass-kicking adventure follows. It's sold Calibur 2 for all platforms at the cheap sushi fee of $19.99. Play Link, play Spawn, play in luscious 3D realms, play with friends, play with yourself. Have a spectacular finishing move. How cheap? You're cheap. Where's my rabbit fur jacket? There you go, Skinflint. X-Play once again proves your way is the right way. Go forth and forget the tip. Those waiters will be famous actors soon anyway.
Of course, not everyone waits for games to be discounted.
Yes, they rush out and buy hot new games like Spider-Man 2. But should they? We'll tell you after the break.
Up next, my spidey sense is tingling. At least I hope that's what it is.
Thanks for calling Domino's. 3 people? Everyone wants something different. Oh, it's okay, sir. We get this all the time. That's why we've got our 5-5-5 deal. 3 pizzas, $5 each. Yeah, it is a great deal. You're very welcome. I love you too.
Domino's 5-5-5 deal is back. Buy 3 or more medium one-topping pizzas and they're all just $5 each. Only from Domino's. Get the door. It's the 5-5-5 deal.
Longer lasting.
Hey, who's that? Come here, that's mine. Hey, bring it back.
Gotta have sweet, gotta have new, longer-lasting juicy fruit.
So, how's business been, sir?
We can't complain. Oh, who would listen?
Who would listen?
Can't say I'll never rap again. You know, as a talent, you know, who am I? I'm a man. Anybody that made it successful from where I come from, they never came back. Simon, you ever bought a Jay-Z album?
Oh, of course, sir.
Open the door for the next generation the way it was open for me.
Kanye. Give me that beat.
South side, outside, west side, let's ride. East side, right, B side, Lakeshore Drive, and I'm Chi-Town's finest. Where you at? The whole city behind.
Atlanta, home of the ladies with the really tight skirts.
Or if somebody moves in some
Body gets hurt from Decatur down to CP and MP. Battlefield to the battlefield is DTP. Okay, what up? On the YGs and khakis and white tees with Air Ones in every color like iced tea. I might be like crazy. Compton's right knee. The way I paint pictures with these hip hop scriptures. Where you at? The whole city behind us. Where you at? The whole city behind us. South side, outside, west side, let's ride. Where you at? The whole city behind us. I'm keeping this beat for myself. Hello?
Once again, a science fiction double feature of Adam Sessler and Morgan Webb.
Welcome back to X-Play, the show that finally has a good superhero game.
Yes, we've been telling you for months how excited we are for Spider-Man 2 to come out.
People have been calling it GTA Spider-Man because it allows you to roam freely around Manhattan, fighting crime and exploring the city.
Now, if only they could make a Batman game like that, then we'd be really happy.
But did we like Spidey, or did we love it?
Here's our review of Spider-Man 2.
Yay.
That's 4.
This is the city I protect, New York City. It's my home, my playground.
Another summer blockbuster, another video game tie-in. Wouldn't it be nice to get a spectacular game to go along with the spectacular Spider-Man 2 movie? Well, it's not spectacular, but it's one giant step for superhero games. You may be asking, what makes Spider-Man 2 different from the dozens of other Spider-Man games out there? In a word, this. That's right, true believers. All of Manhattan is here and ready to be explored. You can go anywhere in the city, and the web-slinging controls are the best they've ever been. Bruce Campbell returns as the smart-ass tutorial guy.
Well, sequel time already, huh? Welcome back, I guess. I'm sure you missed me more than I missed you.
And Tobey Maguire continues to voice Spider-Man with the enthusiasm of a tortoise on Quaaludes.
Hi, my name is Spider-Man, and I'll be your superhero today.
Scattered about the city are people in need of your help. Each of them will provide a mission, such as stopping an armored car robbery.
If I could just reach my utility belt.
Give me a break.
Or taking an injured person to the hospital.
Don't worry, you're gonna be okay.
Because the best thing to do to a critically injured person is to sling them over your back and swing around at high speeds. Random events also pop up that range from robberies.
I got your purse back.
My purse!
To runaway balloons.
Try to hang on to it.
Say thank you. I'll never let my balloonie go again.
Essentially, this is Grand Theft Spidey.
My eyes!
Except you have to be a good guy. Peter Parker doesn't kill hookers.
Say goodnight, Gracie.
Dude, that's not what they meant by art lover. If you get tired of pounding on random muggers, and you will, the moderately interesting storyline is available to you.
Oh no! Look, I'm trying to get away! Run!
Ladies and gentlemen, I am making a withdrawal.
It loosely follows the film's plot, and Dr. Octopus is the main baddie, as expected. However, you'll run into characters not in the film, like the Black Cat.
Skin-tight leather. Doesn't that kind of chafe?
You'll never find out, that's for sure.
A few guest villains pop up here and there as well.
You are no match for the power of Mysterio.
Mysterio? I think I had a bowl of Mysterios for breakfast.
Too bad they're not a bit more compelling than the likes of Shocker. Most of your time will be spent playing Beat the Clock or beating up criminals. The combat is freeform, and tons of moves are available for purchase at the Spidey store. You really only need to hammer the attack button to succeed, but Spidey's repertoire can help mix it up a bit.
Oh, no, not cool.
There's also the novelty of delivering pizza Spidey style.
Oh, cool, my pizza, thank you very much.
Man, nothing phases New Yorkers.
You're looking a little down. Girl trouble.
Spider-Man 2 is full of great ideas, but many of them are only half realized. Swinging through virtual New York City is a blast, and you can spend hours perfecting your web techniques.
Having fun yet?
But beyond that, repetition sets in, and you'll have to know how to make your own fun. Spider-Man 2 webs up a semi-super 3 out of 5.
This may not be art, but I like it.
Now, of course, if you love the Spider-Man comics and the movie, you might still want to buy this one. We can't blame you.
No, we can't blame you. Have I ever blamed anybody for it?
Yes.
Anyway, Don't buy the PC version of Spider-Man 2. It is not the same game.
No, it's like a weird kids game that has nothing to do with the freeform gameplay that we admire in the console version.
Yeah, it's made
totally
for children, and they look
different.
similar on the cover of the box, too. So, you know, you heard it here. You know, take our advice, and we won't blame you.
Yes, we know we have more advice on our website.
We do. It's game advice, because you don't want to get, like, gaming tips from me. And
No,
it's
that's
techtv.com, g4techtv.com/xplay.
Yes, we don't want any really...
No, you don't want to take any other advice, like dressings. You know, gosh.
That's a nice shirt, though.
Really?
Yeah.
I don't know how I got it on.
Oh, help her, monkey.
3.
These
2.
are Robot
1.
Warriors.
Of MLB and MVP baseball for the PSP.